morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for this session of the Get to Know webinar series hosted by ACEnet. ACEnet is the commonly used short name for the Appalachian Center for Economic Networks. We're a nonprofit economic development organization based in Athens, Ohio. We support the growth of local and regional businesses through technical assistance, access to shared resources and facilities, and strategic network connections. ACEnet is also a proud partner organization within the Appalachia Regional Food Business Center, a USDA-supported initiative designed to strengthen regional food systems by improving infrastructure, access to markets, and growth opportunities for food and farm businesses. My name is Kelly Shaw, Business Builder Coordinator with ACEnet, and I'm excited to introduce Lisa Merva, Market Wagon's Marketplace Manager. Market Wagon is an innovative platform that helps producers grow their customer base and reach new markets. As we get started, Lisa is going to cover an introduction to Market Wagon, and then we'll open up the floor for your questions so that we can continue that conversation together. So thank you everyone for being here. And to start, Lisa, if you could just give us a little bit of background. When did Market Wagon get started, and what have been some of the key milestones for the business?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. Well, so Market Wagon is an online farmers market that does home delivery. We were started in 2016 by a farmer in Indiana who just saw, customer order habits trending to online ordering and wanting home delivery. And he didn't want the small producers to get left out. So he started Market Wagon. And over those next few years, so we started our first hub in Indianapolis, where we're working locally with producers and delivering to local customers. Over the course of the next few years, we opened 5 more hubs in Indiana and Ohio. And then COVID started, and we were just in such a great place to support local food producers and local food eaters that we expanded quite a lot during COVID and opened up a lot more hubs in the Midwest and east from there out to Kansas City. That's as far west as we go, and down south as well. We stopped expanding in 2022. We had so many hubs open, and we wanted to make sure that we could make all of those hubs thrive before we continued with our expansion. So basically since 2022, we've just been working with 18 food hubs, and I can tell you guys more about the locations. And but again, this year we are ready finally to start opening some more food hubs. So we're ready to start expanding again.
Nice, that's exciting to hear. I guess maybe a brief overview of how does the business model work? What does it look like for both the producers and the customers?
Yeah, I'm going to start by just showing what it's like from the customer side. So I'll share my screen. Let's see. Okay. So this is our online farmers market, and just like most farmers market, we've got producers and food of all kinds. You can see here different categories. Everything is producer branded and has also a location attached to it. So we are only working with food that is from a certain origin, basically. We're really serious about transparency, and our customers are too. They want to know who grows it and where it's grown. So you'll see every product listing has the name of the producer as well as their location. Here I'm just on our landing page that has just kind of a mix of trending items. That's just items that are popular right now that lots of customers are adding to their basket. We also, we've got different categories that you can scroll through, see everything that's there. And from the customer side, we deliver either once or twice a week in each location, and customers can shop 24/7. The ordering window closes about 2 days before they receive their delivery. So anytime in that week before, they can shop and add items to their basket. and they're buying from multiple producers at one time. Average basket size is somewhere in the 70s. They complete their checkout and get it delivered to their home on their delivery day, which is either Tuesday or Thursday. I'm gonna stop sharing now. From the producer side, basically, if you decide you'd like to work with us, we give you access to your vendor dashboard. So you would create your profile and products in our system. It's really simple. For a profile, you're just uploading a logo or picture you'd like to use for your business, a little description of your business. Creating products is also very simple, just uploading a picture, naming it, giving a little more description about it. I didn't show you, but customers can click on a product and see more detail about the product, a description of it. So producers decide what to sell, when to sell it, how much they want to offer. So they're creating their product listings every week or updating them. Yeah, I'll get to that. Samantha, I see your question about percentage. So let's see. So once you've created your products and you're live, your products are published. Basically, customers, like I said, can order 24/7. From your dashboard, you can see live order information coming in throughout the week. And when the ordering window closes, then you get your final pick ticket that tells you everything you sold and need to bring to our hub. And so most producers are delivering to our hub the morning of delivery day. It's in itemized units. So like customers are ordering a pound of ground beef, a bunch of carrots, stuff like that. And your pick ticket would tell you, okay, you need to bring 20 pounds of ground beef, 15 bunches of carrots, and so on. When the producers get to our hub, they see that we've lined up our sturdy cooler tote bags on shelves, and the orders go right into the customer orders. So all the bags have tote tags on them that say the customer name and the number and what goes in it. So for the most part, vendors are filling their own orders. I'd say probably about 75% of our vendors do that. So most vendors are filling orders the morning of delivery day, usually between 8 and 10 or 8 and 11. When that's done, then we do a final check and zip up the bags, and then our home delivery team shows up to. Okay, I'll get to that question in a minute too. Our home delivery team shows up and packs up the orders and takes them out and delivers them to customers' homes the same day. And with Market Wagon model, vendors set the retail price, and we retain 28.5% of that with our basic model. That's the only fee that you pay. There's no joining fee or anything. It's just that revenue share for products sold. And we pay out every Friday. So you deliver on Tuesday or Thursday, and we can put a check in the mail for you on Friday or do a direct deposit on Friday. And then it just starts again and again. We operate 52 weeks of the year. We really don't have a slow period. I'd say maybe the summer is a little bit slower just because people are traveling. But even during the winter, we see customer order habits maybe just change a little bit. There's a little less produce available in the fall, winter. And so people start buying, of course, they're buying meat year round. They might start buying more prepared foods and baked goods during the holidays or just in the winter time, but we really keep pretty steady business. And let's see, vendors decide when to sell. So they can, it's an easy, if you need to take a week off, you could just pause your store. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. That's a good overall picture. I know we're getting some really good questions in the chat, and I think we'll get into a lot more details on logistics. But maybe right now, if you want to kind of talk a bit more about those delivery zones and the hubs that you're operating, can you help us understand what the corresponding geography of your producers looks like?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again. So this, oops, can you guys see that? Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it
okay.
pretty well. Mhm.
Um, this is a map of our delivery zones. And our hub is located somewhere in that. It's usually somewhere near the big city, not necessarily in the big city. And I can definitely get into more information about specific locations. We have 18 locations in Ohio. We have 3 hubs, one in the Cleveland area, one in Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati area, one in Columbus. This is a little outdated. I think this area is not being served currently. We kind of absorb some hubs into other hubs. And yeah, and producers usually are about within an hour of our hub. It might be farther. Somebody may be coming from farther if maybe they have other business to do in Indy. Maybe they could make the trip worth it for them. Um, but typically it seems to work for vendors maybe about within an hour of the hub.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you, hubs.
so it sounds like in most cases, the farm businesses, food producers, they are doing their own direct delivery to where the hub is, and if that makes sense for their travel. Is there any other ways that folks connect to those hubs, or
Yeah,
expand
yeah,
the geographic region?
yeah, yeah. And I did describe kind of our standard model. There are some instances where we can provide pickup straight from the producer too. There would just be an additional fee attached to that. Um, But for those farther away, or maybe they can't make the trip weekly into our hub, we do have a consignment program. It's great for shelf stable goods as well as it can work for like frozen meat. So with shelf stable, basically producers would bring case quantities of their products to our hub and store them there. And then our staff fills the orders for them weekly. And it's the same with meat. Um, Depending on the equipment we have or the space we have, sometimes vendors can use our freezers, or sometimes we invite them to bring their own freezer. And so they would again stock it with case quantities, and we fill their orders weekly. And they would put, of course, the quantity that they brought into the system so they don't oversell, and it helps them keep track of their inventory. And they can quickly and easily tell when they're getting low and it's time to restock.
Right. Yeah, that is good to know that there's kind of different ways that folks can interact with those distribution hubs. Um, are there certain types of producers or products that tend to be a strong fit for Market Wagon? I think you mentioned there's some seasonality in what sales looks like. But any more information on that kind of product producer fit?
Yeah, it's a little over 90% of our sales are from kind of perishable goods. Our main categories like meat, produce, dairy and eggs, baked goods, and prepared foods. Um, so that's a little over 90% of our sales. The percentage of sales will vary throughout the year. Like produce typically will go from maybe 30% in the summer to about 15% of overall sales in the winter. Meat stays usually 25 to 35% of overall sales. Um, and then, pantry goods and non-food items, they move more slowly, just as is typical with that type of product. Um, so it's probably weekly sales may not necessarily be super high for shelf stable goods. Um, but that's just the nature of those type of products. Um, yeah, and vendors who apply or just would like more information, we're always happy to talk with them about the specifics of the hub that they're interested in, the specifics of their products, and we can really give them a lot more information about what they can expect to do, like what they can expect to sell. We're always happy to provide the information. We really want producers to have as much information as possible to make a good decision for their business.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think we have just a couple questions that we prepared for this kind of overview. And then I know we're getting a lot of good ones in the chat. And some of the details about sales and logistics have been covered a little bit. So the pricing for products is set up by the producer itself. And you said that there is just a percentage of that that's retained by Market Wagon. Can you maybe review that again a little bit, that information?
Yeah, currently for our just-in-time model, we call it, that's where producers are delivering day of the delivery day, and they're filling their own orders. So they're putting the item in customer tote bags. Um, that's where we start. We're at 28.5% for that. For additional services, farms or producers can just drop off all of their orders for us. They wouldn't put them in customer totes. We would do that for them. That's just an additional 5% for us to do that. That works best for some people. If we're talking about providing pickup of products, that's going to be a case by case basis, depending on where they're located and what we can do there. Maybe we have a driver who's near them and already coming into the hub, and wouldn't have to be too expensive for anybody. Let's see, for consignment, that's 35% for shelf stable items or frozen meat if they bring their own freezer.
Okay. And I think you talked a little bit about the cadence of sales and payments for producers. It would be a once a week drop off midweek and then payout on the end of the week. Is that, you want to review the information there?
Yep, that's right. So vendors deliver either once or twice a week. Most of our locations are just one delivery day, either Tuesday or Thursday. But in Indianapolis and Cincinnati, we have 2 delivery days. They're just larger hubs. Typically, that's how we expand. If we're growing and we have more customers, then we can deliver 2 in one day. We add a delivery day. So they deliver their items, and we pay them on Friday for what they sold that week.
Okay, great. Um, we have one last question to kind of wrap up this first part, and then we'll get to all of the details and great questions that our participants have. But maybe if you could just tell us what the onboarding process looks like for new producers. How would someone interested in selling through Market Wagon get started?
Mhm. I would recommend that people apply. There's an easy, here, I'm going to put this link in the chat. Dairy.marketwagon.com is a place where people can apply, and when they do that, they just put in their email address, contact information, and what they sell, and then somebody on our team gets back to them, explains what it's like to work with Market Wagon, just what I've been doing, and we just make sure that it's a good fit for both of us, that the producer understands what's entailed with partnering with Market Wagon, um, and and then and that can be a pretty quick conversation. And then we send an invite to create an account and also provide instructions and support in getting set up and creating the profile, creating products.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate hearing that. You were describing before we started recording a little bit of the ongoing support or marketing advice or um, learning opportunities that folks have within using the Market Wagon platform. All right, well, um, we have some questions from folks, and I'll go through the chat, but there's also time if anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask their own. We're happy to do that too. But a couple folks kind of went back to what things look like for the customer side. So is there a delivery fee that customers are or that are adding on to the carts that customers are purchasing through Market Wagon?
There is a delivery fee. It's typically, it depends on the location, typically between $7.95 or $8.95 per delivery. However, we do have what we call our Wagon Pass subscription, where you can pay, it's about $14 a month and get as many deliveries as you want that month. I don't know the exact percentage, but we have quite a few customers that go with that Wagon Pass option.
Okay. Do all customers get their products via direct home delivery? Is that
Yep.
the whole way they do it?
Mhm.
And then someone had a question about are those drivers employees of Market Wagon, gig worker type? How does that part of the business model work?
Drivers are contractors, so it's gig
Mhm.
work. Um, However, we find drivers that are consistent and dependable, and we stick with them, and they stick with us. So it's not like different drivers every week, like DoorDash might be. We have consistent drivers that we're using.
Okay. And then just to review, I think other than that sort of percentage-based cost sharing, you kind of described it, or the consignment, there's no other cost to producers to get installed on the platform or participate in any other ways. It's just all based on that percentage of sales.
Yep, it's just that percentage of sales, and that covers everything. So use of our website, our IT support. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we have customer service support as well, marketing, and everything it takes to deliver. It's all included in that one fee.
Okay. Um, can you share a little bit more about what your customer base is like? I know we had somebody specifically ask if vendors on Market Wagon are ever filling orders for schools by chance, like larger purchasers, or what kind of customers purchase through Market Wagon?
We're delivering mainly to individuals and families, so not doing schools or businesses. We do offer a service to Market Wagon vendors, what we call parcel drop system. So if a Market Wagon vendor maybe has wholesale customers like restaurants or schools or whatever it is that are in our delivery zone, then we can deliver packages or orders for them. And that starts just at $10 per delivery. Um, it's calculated by cubic inches, but $10 for probably a package about that size. So we do have some vendors that are utilizing that, or even for individuals, maybe they have a CSA or just other customers that are ordering from them on their website. So that parcel drop is for basically we're just doing the delivery for them. The sale is taking place outside of Market Wagon.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. Let's see. We have, from that customer standpoint, someone has asked what the customer's payment methods are. And specifically, for example, are they able to make purchases using SNAP or EBT?
Right now, it's just credit or debit cards, but we're actually working on being able to accept SNAP right now. So that's in the works. Hopefully next year.
Okay, great, thank you. Um, I know we have a question from Abby in the chat specifically about the Cincinnati hub. Um, Abby, you're welcome to come off mute if you want to, and ask that question directly.
Hi,
But I
I
can,
can ask. So,
great, thanks.
asking about the Cincinnati hub in particular, you said there's a Tuesday and a Thursday delivery day for vendors. Is it possible to deliver items on only Tuesday and then you would like hold them for the Thursday items of whoever ordered for Thursday?
That would be possible. Yeah, we could do that. We occasionally have vendors that do that. I guess the only issue that would come up with that is that the ordering window isn't closed yet, so you wouldn't have your full orders for Thursday at that point. But
That's a good point too. And then do you know off the off your hand. If not, it's fine. I'll email or whatnot. In that Cincinnati market hub, if you have an apple producer, an apple grower.
We do have somebody who supplies apples. We definitely could use more.
Because that's something for us. We're Furman Orchards in Wheelersburg, Ohio. So we're 2 hours from Cincinnati. We've always considered figuring out a way to get apples that way because they're lacking in the orchard department. And then we do currently also go to farmers markets in Columbus. So we're used to doing a 2 hour commute. I would just want to make it worth our while. And, if we did drive it on Tuesday, like you had said, being able to leave that for Thursday so we don't have to come back.
Yeah, we could definitely work with that. We just have to look at our fridge space and make sure we can accommodate it if they need it to be in the fridge. Yeah, let's talk more. You definitely could do a lot of business in Cincinnati.
Okay, I will definitely do that. We have
Yeah.
so many people come to our farm from Cincinnati, and they're like, we make fall, like every fall, we make a big trip to come load up on apples because there's nothing by us.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. No, we've really been slim in the Apple section in both Cincinnati and Columbus the past couple years. And you mentioned that you have customers who are interested. I haven't even told you guys yet about our customer referral program. So you'll have, if you create an account with Market Wagon, you'll have an affiliate link basically that's specific to your profile and products on Market Wagon. And if you're the first to refer a customer to Market Wagon, we can track that. So we permanently log them as your referred customer. And anytime that they order something from you, you get an instant 10% rebate. So basically, we retain 10% less for all of your referred customers for every purchase they make. And as a little bonus, we also pay you 5% of their purchases from other vendors for the first year. So a lot of vendors, the vendors that take advantage of that really seem to appreciate it. Just that saving money and making money. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have to do a lot of math in my head, but it sounds like a really great incentive for kind of helping folks consider tying you into their other sales channels. So some folks, I think, are still having some questions about geography and where these distribution hubs are located. Is it possible for you to share, like, we know there's a hub in the Cincinnati area. Is there like a particular location that might help folks to understand, like, oh, well, that's that side of Cincinnati. It's much closer to me than if it was on the far side.
Yeah. In Cincinnati, it's Westchester Township. In Columbus, it's Plain City.
Mm-hmm.
In Cleveland, it's Bedford Heights. I saw a question about Kentucky. We have a Louisville hub that's in New Albany, Indiana. Any other specific locations people are interested in?
I know we have someone from Northwest Tennessee here. Um, and I know that the Tennessee hubs are kind of located more central and eastern. Um, so there's also a question of like, how does new distribution hubs get developed? And could vendors or producers find out when that might be happening and see if it could be something they could plug into?
Yeah, absolutely. We are opening 3 or 4 hubs this year. All the hubs that we're opening are because somebody from that location reached out to us, either a farm or a similar business that wanted to team up with us. So we can open a hub pretty quickly. We're good at it. And if we hear from a producer, for instance, and we're opening in Wichita right now, we heard from a producer who is connected in the community and wants to be our boots on the ground and help us get the word out. So if we have kind of people dedicated to it in that location, there's a much better chance that we'll open it soon and quickly. And other than that, I think next year we will continue to open new hubs. Typically, we are trying to branch out kind of near to where our hubs are. Usually we go about 2 or 3 hours away, and that way we can share resources easily. We can also share vendors. So that's typically how we open. But yeah, just because, you know, if we're not in an area that you are in, please feel free to reach out and we'll consider it. And let's see, Lexington, we're not in Lexington, Kentucky anymore. We did have a hub there. We ended up combining it with our Louisville hub. So we do serve the Lexington area. And something I didn't mention is that we do have quite a few vendors who collaborate on delivery. So maybe if they're coming from a little farther away, maybe they take turns with the delivery and to cut down on travel time.
Yeah, we know producers, local food producers are often connected and they are real strategic in how they can maximize their activities and time. So good to hear. A little bit of a check-in from the chat. The Cincinnati one you said was Westchester Township. That's where the
That's
actual
correct.
hub is, in the Cincinnati area. And I feel like I have possibly covered our questions in the chat, but I know I've been jumping around a little bit, so please, if I've missed anything, either re-enter it, or you're also welcome to come off chat. I know we just got a new question about that kind of schools, the potential of a larger kind of school order. So if a school, and Samantha, if I'm misunderstanding this, please let me know, but it seems like if a school district might be ordering, is delivery available to each school? It sounds like where you all deliver, as long as it's in that geographic region, you'll deliver to all locations.
If it's in our delivery zone, for sure. Schools can shop with us. Other businesses can shop with us. And we could, even if there is something specific, I'll put it in the chat here. I'm going to put my email. If there is a specific school that we wanted, or program that we want to talk about, we could even easily create kind of a special ordering platform for schools only, for that school only, where maybe we would just have certain products there, and maybe more like wholesale size orders, 10 pounds of tomatoes instead of 1 pound. We'd definitely be interested in talking with you about that. We were talking with the Department of Ag in Indiana about getting involved with their school program. So that's kind of what we would do, is kind of create a separate store for them if we could do something special with pricing and whatnot.
Okay, so it sounds like that's sort of on the forefront of some of the things you're exploring within the business model, but with that collaboration, it may kind of develop to serve both avenues. I guess, can you speak to any other ways that Market Wagon collaborates with organizations like food hubs or farmers markets or co-ops? Do you see that happening with the platform?
Yeah, we do work with some food hubs. For instance, Oberlin Food Hub in Ohio. About 95% of our producers or vendors are managing their own account in the way that I've described. 5 or 6% is wholesale, kind of typical wholesale, where we're buying and reselling. Right now, I manage all those accounts. So I'm the one. I work with Oberlin, and I buy and resell products from Oberlin. And we still, our requirements, if we work with aggregators or food hubs, our requirements are still transparency. We want to know the producer. We want to know the location. So that's kind of the main way. We have done some kind of farmers markets partnerships. Nothing currently going on with farmers markets, but we have been able to collaborate and kind of give their vendors another way to reach customers, especially when the farmers market may close down for the winter. We could even consider, something we have considered, just haven't moved forward on, is even having a special, like, so-and-so farmers market account with all the vendors listed under that. So we're open to all sorts of partnerships like that.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I think something that has come up in this series as folks are considering like these kinds of platforms is like what does happen around any product quality assurance, or how is that handled between Market Wagon as the platform, the customer, and the producer?
Mhm. Well, we do expect that our producers are bringing their items in good condition. For the most part, they are. Occasionally, maybe at the hub, we might catch something that maybe was overlooked, and let the vendor know. Um, if we have a customer that reaches out with a quality complaint, basically our customer service team handles that, and gives all the information to the vendor. So the vendor gets the customer comment as well. Um, we're really serious about customer satisfaction. So we refund customers whenever they complain about anything, and usually provide them with a coupon to use on their next order as well. But the vendor has the opportunity to get in touch with us and say, I don't know, for instance, maybe they were expecting the celery to be like grocery store size celery, and it was, a lot of times the local celery is smaller and quite a different experience. And so, the vendor could say, well, I know it's not like grocery, they were expecting it to be bigger, but this matches what's in the picture, and I provided, in good shape. And so the vendor can let us know, if they disagree with that, we'll make sure that the vendor gets paid.
Yeah, that seems like a great way for folks to, and I feel like I was looking even at all the images and product things, and that's coming straight from the producer, it sounds like, on the website. So
For
there's
the
a lot
most
of
part.
match. Yeah.
We do provide
Um,
some support. Sometimes people need help. It's hard to take good pictures of food sometimes. So, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask, I think you mentioned that there is technical marketing support and onboarding. Do you want to say a little bit more about what kind of resources folks could expect to help them get started and have good product photos and fully utilize the platform?
Mhm. Yeah, there's a couple of us on our marketplace team that are dedicated to just helping vendors be successful on Market Wagon. So starting out, we're giving them tips on how to create great product listings. A lot of times we do work with producers who maybe don't have experience selling online. And so we're kind of experts in that, so we can give them great tips on products. And then just continued marketing support. So we have, there's several marketing tools that vendors can use in their dashboard. Just things like running promotions or sales, sending marketing emails. Vendors can send a marketing email to anybody who's ever purchased from them. And those can be really, really useful, really successful in getting orders, getting customers to click and buy from you. So we're always giving tips like that. Also, every week we're collaborating with vendors on marketing and promotions. Deciding what we're going to feature in our marketing emails or in a banner in the store, working with vendors. Sometimes we do what we call a co-op deal, where we might split a discount. So customer gets 20% off and we take responsibility for 10% of that. Or sometimes we even put the item just on sale at Market Wagon's expense and feature it and get it out there. And anytime, vendors can reach out to us. The marketplace team is mainly related to success and sales and marketing. We do have a kind of a vendor support team also, just a button a vendor can click, and if they have a question, a technical question, or anything related to a customer order, they can be contacted. They can contact our vendor support team.
Okay, nice. And I know that transparency and visibility, each product is connected to the farm or business, and there's a lot of marketing tools kind of embedded within the platform. So it sounds like opportunities for folks to tell their stories or showcase where their farm is, its location. Would you say that a lot of the producers on Market Wagon are using Market Wagon of one of multiple sales channels? Like they might be at their farmer's market doing on-farm sales. What's kind of your experience in how vendors make a holistic kind of collection of market access points for their products?
Yeah, I would say most of our vendors are selling on multiple venues. So, in-person farmers markets or at their own farm store or maybe wholesale to grocery stores. We do have some vendors that just do Market Wagon, and even one of our bakeries in Indiana who stopped doing farmers markets altogether. That was kind of their goal. As much as we all love to connect face to face with our customers, can be a lot of time. But they found that their sales on Market Wagon grew so much, and it was more convenient for them that they are doing all their business on Market Wagon now. Mm-hmm. And we don't have any restrictions on vendors or any asks. They can sell wherever they want.
And I think based on the model, it sounds like there's no volume expectation or sales minimums for producers either.
No volume
Or
expectation. We do ask that if you sell it, you bring it. So we aim for 100% order fulfillment. We get really close to that every week. We're like 98 to 99%, which I think is pretty impressive given that we're dealing with, hundreds of producers, thousands of products, all these locations. So that would be our expectation. Like I said, we want to give producers as much information as possible to make sure that they, we give them sales expectations depending on what they're specifically growing, depending on the size of the market. And so we don't have order minimums. So it can be sometimes producers do have a smaller order that they have to make a trip for. But we are there to support them. And if they want to work with us, then we'll try to help them increase their sales and help them reach that sales goal and make sure that trip is worth it.
I see, right. So not a sales minimum, but the more sales is going to really make that trip to the distribution hub worth the producer's while. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm happy to open up the floor for anybody else in our participant pool that wants to ask any questions. Feel free or add them to the chat. I know we've covered a lot of really great information. Samantha has a question. Yes, please go ahead. You're welcome to
hi.
unmute and ask.
Hi. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little glitchy, so I'm not going to put on the video, but you can see my picture. Hi.
Hi.
So we are working with two school districts, and one is in Franklin, which is south of Nashville. And I see you've got a nice big blob in the middle
Mhm.
of Tennessee. So
Mhm.
that's kind of where my question stems from. Could they use your services to be able to deliver what each school would want on their school menu, even if it's just a one-time thing?
Yeah,
Would they be able to get that delivered?
absolutely. Yep. And as long as they're in a delivery zone, they would need to order by in Nashville, need to order by Sunday at midnight for a Tuesday delivery. And we could get creative with them too. Yeah, if you'd like to get in touch with us about specific information, we can see if there's anything else that we would need to do to make it work.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. This has been a
Thanks so
great
much.
presentation. Thank you.
Well, good. Yeah, we're glad to have all these good questions and get so much relevant and really detailed information from Lisa. Lisa, has there been anything that you feel like is important that we haven't covered yet?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. Well, I do want to mention our busiest time of year is coming up. Thanksgiving and Christmas are our two busiest times of the year. We do have pre-order periods too. For Thanksgiving, it's 6 to 8 weeks that customers are ordering from you, and you get paid at the time of their order too. So it's a great time to start with Market Wagon in the fall.
How long does it usually take folks to get up and running on the platform? Is it a pretty quick kind of build out
It
your
can be.
products and then you can participate in the next purchasing cycle pretty much?
Yeah, it's really quick and easy, actually. It probably takes about 5 minutes to make your profile, and for each product, 5 minutes or less. Less if you have a picture already that you can use. So as quickly as you can get your profile and products made, you can start selling.
Nice. Is there any over a Zoom webinar #1 tip or trick to taking good photos of your farm products, your food products, would you say?
I would say number one would be to take a picture of the product outside of packaging. So, if you've got meat is a difficult one, but really a picture of meat, vacuum sealed in a package is not very pretty. So anytime that you can take it out of the package, or sometimes vendors even show it, cooked and prepared, that's helpful. Make sure you've got good lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
And we have more
I know.
specific suggestions based on the specifics of our platform and the format of the pictures and everything. But
Yeah, I guess that saying of that you eat with your eyes always holds true. So,
it's true.
all right. Well, we are getting kind of close to the end of the hour that we had for this event. I'm going to add in the chat a link to where on ACEnet's website these recordings will be. So that they're archived, you can come back to them. But everybody who's participating will also get a follow-up email that will contain Lisa's direct contact information for folks who want to follow up and get more information, a recording of this event, and some other resources from ACEnet. So yeah, feel free if you have thought in this last couple minutes of another question to let us know. Um, we certainly feel like this was some good information. Folks in the chat have also agreed that this is some helpful, useful information. I especially appreciate that kind of creative aspect of it, that you all are still kind of building out what Market Wagon can do and will do kind of within the different regions and partnerships that you have. So that's all exciting. All right. Well, thanks again. I'm gonna stop our recording. Unless Reggie, you all do have any questions?
No, everything was great. Thank you all for showing up and asking questions. Reach out to us as we can still provide TA. Have anybody else in your regions, any farmers that need to be reached out to, feel free to share our information, share the videos, and yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.